Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about pretty much the 2026 frontrunner majors banners that you should be looking out for as a frontrunner player. First things off, before I start talking about the video itself, consider subscribing, as not a lot of people are subscribed and it is very easy and it helps the channel growth. Anyways, let's talk about the video itself. The first banner, I've already talked about this multiple times, but it is going to be Summer Maruzensky Speed. Summer Maruzensky Speed is a very strong frontrunner card that has a really long longevity, has a speed card, which of course is very good. The unique effect of this card is that you get 5% trading effectiveness pure level of the current trading facility. So if you have a level 3 wit training, you will get 50% trading effectiveness. If it is, let's say, a level 5 stamina, it will be 25% trading effectiveness. This is going to be a very strong effect, and after the Trailblazer scenario, the game essentially becomes a trading simulator. You do not really race in the Grand Life scenario or the scenarios afterwards. So this value of this trading effectiveness is going to be actually extremely high after the fact that we get to the Grand Life scenario. This card can be used at 1 limit break. However, if you are a frontrunner player, you could consider going for 3 limit break for the hint levels. As for the hints itself, it is going to be extremely strong. You have frontrunner strays, frontrunner corridors, leader's pride, slipstream, playtime's over, leader's pride, groundwork, focus. You have the entire kit, and you get summer runner for the next couple of champions meeting. When this card comes out, the summer runner is going to be the target speed green, which of course is extremely strong. So pretty much you will guaranteed get a lot of value off of Summer Maruzensky speed hints. And if you have it at 3 limit breaks, you will get hint to level 3 from the hints itself. So if I land a hint to level 3, playtime's over. If I land it again, then I immediately max it out. As opposed to 1 limit break, if I had playtime's over, that will be hit to level 2. I could hit it again, that will be level 4, which means that if on an extremely rare occasion, I could hit playtimes over again, which means that it could be very annoying to use as 1 limit break. But again, remember, 1 limit break is enough for you to use this card. It's just ideal to use it at 3 limit break. As for the gold skill, it is going to be extremely strong, because it is the gold version of Leader's Pride, being top runner. It is a very strong early game skill that helps you defend the possession for you to be first going into the mid game. If you are Valentine Mihono Bourbon, and especially if you are somebody like Sales Guy, this is going to be extremely important for you. This is a very strong gold skill, and by the combination of it having Leader's Pride from Summer Maruzensky hint pools, top runner is going to be cheap a lot of the time. And to go about this, if you have realized over here, Summer Maruzensky can get friendship trading extremely early, but it's still RNG. So on the chain events, if you get lucky and hit the crazy plus 15 bond from Maruzensky, you can hit it twice. So you will get an additional 30 bond on Maruzensky speed, and considering that if you have her at, let's say, 3 limit break or 1 limit break, you will have over like half of your gauge already. It is extremely strong, and provided if you get a lucky career, this is actually something that I don't really see talked about. You can get a lot of extra early clicks of rainbow, provided that you had good luck with the chains. As for Summer Maruzensky speed, it is actually going to be also a really strong parenting card, and you only need 1 limit break again, but 3 limit break is ideal. You can also pair it with the Silence Suzuka speed, and that means is that you essentially have pretty much every single frontrunner skill at very high discounts for your parents, which means is that you will probably put double circle, front or corners, straights, etc., which tremendously increases the chances of you having very strong parents. Next up is going to be an Uma actually, but usually it is generally better to pull for support cards over Umas unless it is very specific Umas such as parents or Umas that are very strong for a really long period, that it is just, oh okay, it's better to pull for that Uma. And of course you can pull for your Oshi over any other principle. So the first Uma, Copano Rickey. I'm going to be talking about Copano Rickey, like her issues, but I want to talk about her strengths. This Uma is a dirt Uma, but you can run her as turf. If you put 10 turf sparks, she starts at B, and that is enough for you to run her at mile and medium, sometimes even sprint tracks. And she is actually going to have a very strong growth rates. She has 20% wet and 10% power, what makes her extremely good. So it is pretty much her unique skill. This unique is very strong because it has a very good chance that Copano Rickey will just get a speed increase into acceleration, provided that you have the green skills. She has a special scaling where the more green skills that you have, the higher the target speed and the acceleration bonus that she will get, up to 6. So if you have 6 green skills, you will get an additional 0.15 target speed increase and a 0.15 to acceleration. This is taken from a Japanese website. This will be linked in the comment section. But this is a very strong, and this is going to be probably the highest ceiling unique skill in the entire game. 0.4 target speed increase into acceleration is pretty much unbeatable unless you are Christmas Ogre. She has a gold skill which is going to be also really great with her unique, big victory opportunity. It is a dirt exclusive skill which triggers again at the random point in the second half of the mid game, provided that you are 5th or above. You get target speed increase. If this skill procs alongside your unique, you have an insane amount of target speed increase going to the late game, and you get a lot of speed carry over, and plus the small acceleration that you get from Copano Rickey's unique. So very strong gold skill. She also comes in with 2 green skills. Both of them unfortunately are locked into third for the most part. Big outstanding step, which is very interesting. It requires you to have over 1,000 power, which is very interesting. It gets you 60 speed if you fulfill that condition, and if it is the current cap being at 1,200, you will get 80 additional speed. This is a very strong skill for Copano Rickey, and she has also a different skill called exchange races, where her speed will increase by 40 if she is on a specific race courses, being Kaukashi, I believe, Fumabashi, Omoroka, and O race course. I'm sorry, I do not know how to spell Japanese race courses. Anyways, ignore what I said. If these are one of the names for the race courses, she will get an additional 40, and you can also double circle it to be 60. So here's the problem about Copano Rickey. She is a very good Uma, but she is not easy to train. You need a lot of effort to make her work outside of dirt. And also, if you want her to go for front runner, you want to go with ground work, you want to go with dodging danger, you want to go with prudent positioning. These 2 skills are very strong, and this will help you secure the first place position for Copano Rickey to get angling and scheming in the first place. You also need taking the lead from Mihono Bourbon Wit, so it is not easy to train Copano Rickey. unless it is on dirt. Dirt, she has like 2 innate greens, and if you just try your hardest, you'll probably get the 6 greens that you want to get the full value off of Rickey's unique. Outside of that, if she is on turf, she is not going to be easy to train. However, she can work very well in those race courses too. It just requires you to have a lot of effort to make her good for turf tracks. Next up is going to be the Light Hello and Agnes Tachyon speed card. And as you can see, my recommendation is at least 2 limit break Light Hello SSR and the max version of Agnes Tachyon. So let's talk about Light Hello very quickly. Light Hello is going to be the PAL card for the Grand Life scenario, and starting from this point onwards, the PAL card needs to be on your deck and at least to be at least high enough limit break where they will be good enough. For Light Hello, as an instance, you really want to have the 2 limit break version. The game becomes training over racing after Grand Life for the most part. So the training effectiveness from Light Hello is going to be actually noticeable. Even the difference of 5% is going to be noticeable. And for the unique effect, it is going to be very strong. She gives you a multiplicative 30% energy cost reduction when participating in a friendship training, which is a rainbow training. So let's say there is going to be Kitasan Black on a speed training and Light Hello is on it, you will get a multiplicative 30 energy cost reduction. With, let's say you have 3 limit break, you will get a 34% energy cost reduction. This is going to be extremely strong. As for Light Hello itself, her dates are actually very straightforward. She gives you a lot of energy. 35 from here, 35 from here, 70 and 42. This is at 0 limit break. The numbers will be higher from the event recovery over here, from the 2 limit break and onwards. And of course the event effectiveness will also change the stats that you will get. But this is just numbers at 0 limit break. And unlike Riko Kishimoto, there's only 2 options. It's either to click top or bottom, and you always just want to click top. This is going to be very easy. Light Hello does not have any RNG. You will just click top, you get the date, you click on the date when you need energy. It's very simple. So the Grand Life scenario and onwards, like I said, is training facility simulator. You just train, no racing. Next up is Agnes Tachyon. Agnes Tachyon is a very strong card at maximum break because of 2 things: the specialty priority, the friendship training, and also the skill point bonus. These 3 stats over here are going to be extremely important in Grand Life scenario. Grand Life scenario really encourages training, and with Light Hello and Kitasan Black, since both of them have very high specialty priority, you will see both of them on training a lot of the time, and you will get a lot of skill points that way, even though this card does not have any race bonus. It is very recommended to go for maximum break because you get 2 skill point bonus instead of 1. This is actually a very big increase. And the unique effect is that you get 20 multiplicative friendship bonus when the bond gauge is full. So before the bond gauge is full, Agnes Tachyon is only at 20%. Once you get the bond gauge to full, you'll get it to 44%. Very strong card when it comes to speed generating, especially capping speed on 0% Umas in Grand Life scenario. Next up is going to be Aston Machan, which is going to be a strong Uma for the sprint and mile distance race courses. This Uma has a 20% speed and 10% guts growth rate, which is going to be very comfortable with this Uma. If you want to try out guts maxing in Grand Life, which is something I don't think is going to be popular, you can go with that, since her attributes are actually going to be very good for that strategy. even if you do not want to do that strategy, you have 20% speed, which of course is very nice to cap your speed in the Grand Life scenario. Her unique skill, and that is the reason why she is going to be very very strong for the mile and sprint distance tracks. It is very simple. In the last 400 meters, provided that you are first or second place, if somebody makes you an overtake target for 1 second, you will get a target speed increase with acceleration. This is the part that makes her very good, is that she is a front runner that has a consistent way to get acceleration. Since Umas are going to be together going into the home stretch when it comes to the sprint and mile, she will proc her unique pretty much almost instantly, and she will get acceleration as a front runner. And provided that in mile distance tracks, sometimes you can get angling and scheming too, which makes her extremely good for those two race courses. It is very very strong, and Aston Machan is a very strong Uma in general. Her potential skills: she has groundwork innate on her skills, which of course is extremely strong. She also comes in with taking the lead, and for sprints she comes in high spirits, which is a sprint second half of the mid game target speed increases skill. So it is very strong, and taking the lead is of course very strong because you do not have to use Mihono Bourbon Wit in order for you to get it. She also has charming status on her, so sometimes you can get this event very early on, and charming is going to carry your stats, which of course is extremely good. And she has 2 secret events. Since she comes out slightly after the Grand Life scenario, you will have to beat vodka 4 times, you get shifting gears, which of course is nice, and productive plan, which of course is nice. So she can run mile too, and she actually gets decent amount of stats and skill points throughout her secret events. So Aston Machan is going to be a decent front that you can consider pulling for. However, the next 2 Umas have extremely high value. I would not recommend skipping either of them, since they have extremely long longevity, and one of them is pretty much like still used to this day in the Japanese version. That being Agnes Fujin, and also Kitasan Black the New Year's or Kitasan White. Those 2 are extremely strong. So let's talk about Kitasan Black first. Kitasan Black has one of the most absurd growth rates: 10% speed, 10% power, 10% width. For a front runner player, that is pretty much the dream stat growth rates. It is very very strong, and she can run every single track provided that you invest the sparks on her, which of course makes her even stronger. However, this version of Kitasan Black is actually focused more on the medium and long distance track only. Her unique skill, Lavish Feast, is very interesting unique. The unique condition is that at the late race, provided that you are on a corner and there is still 600 meters remaining throughout the race, and you are first to the 3rd place position, you get a target speed increase of a 0.35. So what does the remain distance mean? Let's say you enter the late race and you are on a corner. Is there a 600 meters still throughout the race? If yes, you will trigger this unique. The current speed increase is actually very very strong. What it is that it's a multiplicative increase on your Uma, not an additive, and it works with acceleration. So in general, this is a very very strong unique, and you can use it on an inheritance with Saiyan Sky for medium. So it is very very strong, and like this is probably like one of the most crazy frontrunner inheritance skills that you can put once this Uma comes out on any single frontrunner that runs medium and long. As you can see, 0.15 current speed increase and a slight increase to acceleration. It is nice, but it's not really the focal point. The focal point is the current speed. Here is how Kitasan's Black New Year version unique work. So in general, this will trigger instantly over here because we are at the 1333 meters. We are on a corner, we are in the late race, and there is still going to be 600 meters on the track that is remaining. So you will insta-proc it. Alongside angling and scheming, your frontrunner just skyrockets because they have a lot of acceleration and they also have current speed. So overall, this is very, very strong. Another example, this will insta-proc alongside angling and scheming and took you 2,400 meters. Moving past a bit, you can also get redshift if you really want to, and your frontrunner will top their speed very, very fast. This unique is very, very strong on inheritance and then also on Kitasan Black herself. The thing is that it doesn't stop there. Kitasan Black has a secret event where if you beat the Triple Crown, which of course is not like the entire as for Kitasan Black, it doesn't stop there. She has prudent positioning if you win the Triple Crown and the Arimakinan. The Arimakinan she has an objective. She also has Kika Show, but she doesn't have Sekaya Show and Tokyo Shuken, which is the Japan Derby. So if you have two bad training turns on either like both of these races, you can do the Triple Crown and get some of the stats that you didn't really get from the training back because she has plus 13 over here and she gets prudent positioning over here. So it is very absurd. She has dodging danger, groundwork, and prudent positioning, and she also comes in with taking the lead. So what else can you ask for? Consideration that you are being too greedy at this point. Speaking of greed, Agnes Fujin, which is probably worse than Kitasan Black. So let me explain. Agnes Fujin is a very, very strong Uma. She is Valentine Mihono Bourbon, but she doesn't have the Valentine Mihono Bourbon downside of being card locked. So this is her distance. She is mile A, medium A, and long C. You can run her in long, just put 4 sparks in long, it's not really that difficult. So she can run pretty much 3 out of the 4 distances. And of course she runs front, and she has 14% speed, 8% wet. Very, very strong. Guts is fine, but it's not really the focal point. And of course, her unique skill. At the first half of the mid-game, if you are third or above, you get a 6 seconds of 0.25 target speed increase and a stamina recovery. This is a very strong unique, and for the mid-game, this is a very strong defensive skill. As for her potential skills, she comes in with groundwork, she comes in with concentration, front runner savvy, and front runner corners. And she has something called Gale Slash. What is Gale Slash? It is the gold version of front runner corners. This might not sound good at first, but keep in mind that you can give Agnes Fujin hint level 3 on front runner corners, but that means that you get a cheaper front runner corners at single circle, double circle, and Gate Slash becomes a lot cheaper. This is a very, very strong gold skill for Agnes Fujin, and she is a fast learner Uma. So pretty much you have double the chances of getting fast learner with Agnes Fujin. That is very, very strong. So it doesn't stop there. She has dodging danger from one of her events. She has playtimes over, and this is pretty much guaranteed to proc because she has 7 G1 races already on her career. If you beat all of them as a front runner, you get early lead, and then you also get front runner straightaways. This is very, very strong secret event for Agnes Fujin, and she also gets, dodging danger and playtime's over, so very, very stagnant already. And the main benefit of Agnes Fujin is that she doesn't have the downside of not running this card. This card is Mihono Bourbon, and it gives Unshakable Stance. Unshakable Stance is the gold version of Groundwork, and this is the most essential skill for Frontrunner of all time. Like, once this card comes out, it is extremely, extremely strong. Unshakable Stance is just like the best Frontrunner early game skill, because it is a 3 second. Instead of taking the lead being 1.2 seconds, you will probably finish accelerating with this skill. It is very, very strong. Mihono Bourbon, the Valentine version, cannot use that, but Agnes Fujin can, which makes her actually better than Valentine Mihono Bourbon. And in League of Heroes, which is something going to come out far in the future, Sick of It has a PvE event that you race for the top. Frontrunners are genuinely considered as the best strategy, and especially Umas that have concentration innately on them. Agnes Fujin and Valentine Mihono Bourbon, both of them have that, and those two are pretty much like on the meta of every single League of Heroes, provided that they can run the distance very easily. You will see them every single time, and if you are not Frontrunner player, you will probably still use both of them. The Frontrunner strategy for League of Heroes is pretty much like the go-to for every single League of Heroes, and yeah, these two, you will probably use them for a very, very, very long time in League of Heroes. So Agnes Fujin is not only a very strong ace, she also is still used to this day in the Japanese version of Umamusume, because she just has a very, very strong kit in general. A very important note that I want to talk about is that every single card, pretty much almost, you require it to be at 3 limit break or at max limit break moving forward for a very long time. First up being Mejiro Ramonu. Mejiro Ramonu is the next generalist card that will come out, and once this card comes out, it power creeps any other card when it comes to with training. And this card has hit level max of 4 at max limit break, which is something going to be extremely important for the mile and medium distance tracks. She also comes up with 2 whip bonus at max limit break, and you also get a skill point bonus. Very, very strong, and as you can see, the trading effectiveness is going to be 20%, and it is going to be very interesting because you get 4% trading effectiveness for every speed increasing skill that you have bought up to 20% for 5 skills. Here is why she has max hands on max summer break, is that she has pretty much a lot of the generic skills that you will already buy for the mile and medium tracks. Here she has True Adapt, Mile Corners and Straights. She also comes up with Shifting Gears. She also comes up with Medium Straights, All of God, Firm Step, and also Graceful Step. Graceful Step is something that you should look out for because she gives Ascendance, which is the gold version of Graceful Step. So overall, as you can clearly see, she has a lot of skills that if you are playing on the mile and medium champions meeting ace grinding, you get a hint, you buy it, and then you get the trading effectiveness. So it is a very, very interesting card, and Ascendance is very strong skill because it triggers at a random point in the mid game if it is a mile or a medium race course. So a very, very strong skill. She also comes in with very good growth rates, and she also has back sense. And when it comes to training, she just outright beats every other card that will come out. So Mr. CB, as you can clearly see, gives one more extra speed compared to Mejiro Ramonu, but the skill point bonus, as you can clearly see, this is going to matter a lot more. These are URA finale numbers, and this is solo training. Once we move on from Grand Life and onwards, the skill point bonus actually is going to give you like a couple hundred extra skill points in general, and she just beats every single other support card when it comes to training. The next card is going to be Mihono Bourbon Wit. This card is going to be the next front runner oriented card, because as I mentioned earlier, Agnes Fujin has unshakable stance from Mihono Bourbon, and this is a gold skill for this card. The numbers, as you can clearly see, from 3 limit break to max limit break, it doesn't really look that much. You might be saying, oh, I'm not really losing much, I'm only losing 1 wit bonus. This is going to matter a lot more, and I'm going to go in detail about this once we go forward. But the unique effect is that you get 10 initial stats up, where the stat is the type of the card. So every single card that you have on your deck, let's say you have, I don't know, like 2 speed, 3 wit, and a pal card, okay? You will get 20 speed, 30 wit, and then you will get 2 to your speed, power, stamina, guts, and wit has an initial stats up. It is a nice passive. It's not really going to be that like, oh my god, this is powerful. It's just a nice bonus to have on the start. Here are the hints for Mihono Bourbon. As you can clearly see, it is not like really that impressive compared to usual, but she still has a couple of good skills, such as fast pace, elite. She also comes in with groundwork. She also comes in with both conditions, being firm and wet, so you will guaranteed have a green that is going to give you power. And she also comes in with left-handed, so that is nice. And throughout all of her limit breaks, as you can see, she only has level 2 hint as a baseline. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. However, it is going to be used because of unshakable stance. This card is genuinely very, very good because of unshakable stance. This is the only card that gives this skill. Unshakable stance is just way, way, way too strong. 0.4 acceleration for 3 seconds at the gate is just very, very, very good. I cannot recommend this enough. Here is the point that I wanted to talk about earlier, is a 3 limit break to max limit break. Keep in mind the numbers that are shown here are URA finale numbers, and the number difference will be much, much higher throughout the future scenarios. As you can clearly see, the difference between 3 limit break and max limit break is like 5 wit. This is going to be like 20 or 30 wit each click on the future, potentially like 50, 60. Like, the card itself is need of max limit break. At this point, any front runner card is ideally to have a max limit break, and this is not an exception. And finally, I'm not going to go very much in detail about these 2 cards, but it is going to be my Satake was a Condor Pasa speed. And these 2 cards are pretty much very, very strong. The scenario card for Project Lark, and also El Condor Pasa speed is the next generalist speed card that will power creep Kitasan black, and you just want to pull for this card regardless. I just do not want to make this video way too lengthy already. So I'm going to be using the Henry Handsome Derby's calculator. The average outcome from the quote-unquote plan that I will give you, if you just want to see a generalist plan, that I will set it has 20,000 monthly carats and 32 monthly tickets. So one thing that I really want to talk about, it is a very, very good calculator, but keep in mind that this calculator tends to slightly undershoot because there's like global first time celebrations. Like, there are stuff that just happens, or like future, like let's say they announce like an anime, or like season 4 of Umamusume, okay? They will give you carats. So It is not calculated in here. Nobody knows. So pretty much is that this sometimes undershoots the carats that you will actually end up having. So yeah, that's something that you want to keep in mind of when using the carat calculator. So here is the optimal pull plan for front runners. This assumes that you have completely zero carats, like you just have nothing. Okay, you can pull 200 at the Summer Maruzensky and the Kayaba Festa. This has a downside, however, if you have 0 carats at this point, because you probably will use a crystal and also use a selector to get 3 limit break Summer Maruzensky, and that is not the highest of value. However, again, if you get unlucky on the light hello and I guess take it and do that max limit break, then it could be iffy. Just in general, just pull and see if you get 1 limit break, then you can just scope and then like throughout the time you increase that limit break to 3 limit break. If you are just completely 0 at carats, if you can spend to 3 limit break, then you should do that, on my opinion. Then you have New Year Kitasan Black. If you are runner here as an ace, you just want to pull on Kitasan. If you're runner here as a parent, you also just want to pull on Kitasan regardless. If you skip Kitasan Black New Year and you are playing front runner, I don't know, man, just switch up to a different style. I don't know, something like that. Because Kitasan Black is just way too good as a parent. She also is very, very good as an ace. And then Agnes Fujin, like I said, she is an extremely strong ace. And she pretty much is like the best longevity Uma that does exist in League of Heroes, because she's still used to this day in League of Heroes. So if you are looking to be a competitive player for League of Heroes, then you want to go with Agnes Fujin. Ramonu Wit, you can clearly see you are actually justified to pulling 400 on Mejiro Ramonu, Mihono Bourbon, and the Condor Pasa speed. Because at that point, you don't really need to pull on much other front runners. As for Copano, Rickey, and Aston Machan, the problem is that they are just between Summer Maruzensky and the Light Hello banner. You probably will not be able to pull on Copano, Rickey if you are looking to pull like optimally as a front runner player, because Copano Rickey really is only used for one chip he's beating, and probably 95% of players are just not going to use her for turf. So it is not something that I would really recommend that you pull for, unless you really like Copano Rickey. Then you should pull for her. But regardless of that, for the second year anniversary, being Mejiro Ramonu and onwards, you will realize that they will give us 2 selectors instead of 1. The first one costing $20 and the second one costing $70. If you can buy that 71, then you are a whale. But if you want to buy the 21, then you could select either Aston Machan or Copano Rickey if you do not have either of them and you are considering just selecting one of them, then you should do that. And then Mihono Bourbon, no need to say anything. She is paired with this Sakura Royale banner. This is a late soldier card. It is an iffy card in general. To be paired with Mihono Bourbon, you're just mainly pulling for Mihono Bourbon as a frontrunner player, because this card gives you on your left. As for the last banner, being a Condor Pasa, you also are justified pulling 400 on this banner, and pretty much you have like, this is completely free to play. There is like no pay the carats monthly, etc, etc. This is like pretty much free to play. 20,000 monthly carat income is like below average for an average player. Personally, I average like 30,000 ish in total when it comes to every single month, so it just depends. It depends on your club rank, etc, etc. But this is the plan that I would recommend if you're just looking at a baseline. Lastly, I just want to talk about my own personal pool plan. Do know that, like I mentioned earlier, you should do your own personal pool plan and just use whatever I gave you as a baseline. So these are pretty much my stats currently. I'm always at class 6 for team trials. I am at a club rank of S because I play for like 2 to 3 careers in Mejiro track and just hit my quota. I assume I always win in Champions Meeting because, yeah, like, duh, if I lose, then this game is BS, but if I win, then I'm goated. Like, it's simple as that. And that's pretty much it. I do not pay for the karat pack. I currently have 76,000 karats and 100 of each Uma ticket and support card ticket. I know this sounds so schizo, the saving, but I've been playing since pretty much day 1, so this is pretty much justifiable. Here is going to be my plan. Mr. CB. I do not have a secondary wick card that is going to be strong, and Mr. CB is actually a very, very decent wick card in general. I will probably pull 200 on this card, get it to 1 limit break, and then move onwards. I'm going to be pulling a Mejiro Palmer. Mejiro Palmer is not really a strong Uma. The OG version, the Christmas version, is a nightmare, but that is a topic for like 2030 me or something. Anyways, OG Mejiro Palmer, because I really like Palmer, I will pull for Mejiro Palmer. And then, as you can clearly see, it is the exact same plan as we said. So Maruzensky plus Nakayama Festa, hello, Agnes Tachyon, Kitasan Black and his Fujin, Mejiro Ramonu, Mihono Bourbon, and Mu Sticky. So, oh my god, I butchered the name already. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, starting from this point onwards, after the Mr. CB, I'm not going to risk it and just pull 400 on every single support card banner. 400 on average is enough to put you to 3 limit break to max limit break, and of course the crystals will come in clutch if I get unlucky on the banner. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to my own personal plan. I just wanted to show this because there are going to be some people that actually have like over 30,000 credits currently that can actually justify pulling for Mr. CB if they do not have a secondary strong wick card. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to make a version of this for the pace, late and end closer players once I have enough resources on them, and I just want to see how the people look at this video, and that's pretty much it. If this video does hit something that I am going to be satisfied with, then I'm going to be making one for the pace, late and end closers. And that's pretty much it. If you found this video to be helpful, consider subscribing and consider liking, since that will push it for the algorithm more. And consider joining the community server, link it in the comment section. And I hope to see you in the next one.